Jikaze, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Africa, tujikaze, tujikaze, America, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.
Greetings, beautiful people. My name is Simon Javan Okello. I am in Seattle, Washington, and I am joined here by an incredible guest for today's episode of the African Father in America podcast. Naomi, please go ahead and say hello to our viewers and our listeners.
Hello, kings and queens. How are we doing today?
Excellent. For those who are meeting Naomi for the first time, Naomi Achu is an incredible artist, an award-winning artist, singer, songwriter, rapper, and even I would say an entrepreneur, someone that I have so much love and respect for. I'm going to do a proper introduction in just a moment. Right now, I want to share our proverb for the day that is going to ground our conversation. And our proverb from today is actually from Zambia. And it says that the rock that is in the middle of the sea does not fear the rain. The rock that is in the middle of the sea does not fear the rain. We are currently live on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, X, where else? And also on AMP. AMP is an Amazon app that is pretty much like Clubhouse. It's an audio app. The difference is that it has music from Amazon Music that you can play while you're using the app. So I love using that during the show as well, because we are building a partnership with them. And also Amazon has been one of the biggest supporters for the Madaraka Festival. So I love, working with their products. So what does this proverb mean? This proverb from Zambia. If you're watching, I want you to take a minute and share what this proverb means for you in the chat. But I want to share 3 nuggets of wisdom, and then we are going to hear what my wonderful guest, Naomi Achu, also thinks about this proverb. The first nugget of wisdom, again, if you haven't seen the proverb, or if you don't know what the proverb for today is, it says that the rock that is in the middle of the sea does not fear the rain. So typically I have 3 nuggets of wisdom around these proverbs, just to give you something to take away, whether it's to ground you as you begin your day, whether it's to help you deal with whatever situation you might be dealing with, or just to give you some wisdom to share with your children or to share with yourself. This is the first nugget of wisdom, embrace adversity. Here, the rock in the middle of the sea does not see the rain as a threat, but as an opportunity to grow stronger, Similarly, we should not see adversity as a setback, but as an opportunity to learn and grow, The second nugget of wisdom, stay grounded. The rock in the middle of the sea is rooted to the ocean, the floor of the ocean. And no matter how strong the waves are, it's there, So similarly, we need to stay grounded in our values, and our beliefs. Even when we are facing difficult times, we should be, just as strong as that rock in the bottom of the sea. And then number 3, our final nugget of wisdom is that we should be faithful. We should have faith, The rock in the middle of the sea, it knows the rain will eventually stop. It's aware that, it's raining, there is water here, but this water will not be here forever. And one day the sun will come out and I'll feel the warmth, I'll feel the heat again. So similarly, to us as humans, we should also have faith in our challenges, that no matter how difficult the challenge might be, it will not last forever, and we should always visualize the good times. If your dream is to have a private jet, visualize yourself having a nice glass of something in your private jet. If your dream is to travel back to the motherland, if you've never been, visualize yourself in the streets of Yaoundé, So that's, that's what this proverb is teaching us. Naomi, what is it that
You
you
know
think
me too
about this
well.
proverb?
Well, first of all, you know me too well when you spoke about the private jet and the glass of something and being back in the motherland. You know me too well. But this is a wonderful proverb. Thank you for sharing it and thank you for choosing this one. I think this proverb speaks about resilience, right? If you go through, if you allow yourself to go through these hard times, when the storm comes, you know how to face it. Because a rock that is in the bottom of the ocean has already experienced some sort of, I mean, it's already surrounded. So if we look at water as a form of adversity, if we look at water as a form of a block, something that is preventing us from getting where we need to go, and we find ourselves weathering the storms of the water, we find ourselves deep in it. When we come out strong, we come out resilient, we come out powerful because we have experienced everything that we need to experience about water.
I love that. I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much, Naomi. And for those who are joining us right now, I hope you have taken a minute to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's one of the ways that you can support the growth of the African Father in America podcast. Now, for those who are meeting Naomi Achu for the first time, this is, someone that I look up to, someone that I have a lot of love and respect for. Naomi is originally from Cameroon. She's a singer, songwriter, and a rapper. If you haven't listened to her music, you should go and stream it across all music streaming platforms. And she's known for her energetic and melodious tunes, and witty rap flows and fashion flair. You can see it all and you can hear all of it. Actually, Naomi was one of the headliners for Madaraka Festival last year when it was held at the at the Seattle waterfront, at Pier 62. And we had known each other for about a year or even I think 2 years during the pandemic. So it was really, really a privilege to be able to meet in person, be able to work together. And now I feel like we are part of a community. And so for those who don't know Naomi, she's she draws her inspiration from legends like Manu Dibango, and also legends like Wes Madiko. And Naomi is an award-winning artist and also an humanitarian. Naomi has won the Afrima Awards in 2023, and she's just amazing. So Naomi, is there anything in just introducing you properly that I haven't touched on that you want to add?
Well, first of all, just thank you for having me. Yes, and you've always been a huge inspiration to me. The way you bring the community together, the way you give back to your family, your extended family, which we are your extended family, and I want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing to bring Africa and the Western world together.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So one of my favorite questions that I ask guests who join me for the show here is to take us back, to a time when you are 8 to 12 years old, and share a story with us that continues to drive you as a well-accomplished artist that you've become. I share my own story that when I was about 8 years old, my mother gave me a bicycle and asked me to help her distribute milk and bread in our neighborhood. So we grew up in Manyata, which is one of the largest slums in the world, but it is in Kisumu, Kenya, my hometown. And so I learned how to build relationships with the business community, to be there on time, to strike deals from a very young age, And so that's what really inspires who I am today, with the work I do here, with the podcast, with the work I do with Madaraka Festival. So I want you to take us back and share a similar story of something that happened when you are young, that when you think about the moves you're making today, you feel like that moment is what drives these moves.
Okay, well, I'll tell you two major stories. The first was watching Whitney Houston sing The Greatest Love of All. I was so moved by her voice, by her energy, and I knew that I was going to become a singer. I knew that I was going to entertain because of her, the inspiration that she just gave me. And Michael Jackson, of course. So, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston are my initial inspiration. And my the second story I will tell you is being in a classroom, and I think you know this story already, was being in a classroom of people, children from all over the world. That was really a blessing, and I think if every child could experience that, this world would be a different, better place. Because, you know, when you take innocent children and you put them amongst each other, they have different skin tone, different hair color, different eye color. Everybody gets to see each other like a novelty, so I was a novelty because, my skin color, I came with something. I was the only Cameroonian in my class. And then I was in class with people from Ghana, Kenya, Uganda. So when people say how many countries in Africa have you been? In my head, I've probably been to about 8, 9, because I know so many people from there. And the classroom also had Indians, people from Sri Lanka, people from Australia, New Zealand, Yugoslavia, Spain. One of my best friends was Spanish. Was not, literally, she was from Spain. I had one from Italy. I had another friend. She was British. So these were my best friends. And here's the funny story. You look at my skin color, right? To them, it was a novelty. I felt so special. They treated me so wonderful. Now, going back to Africa, hear this. Going back to Africa and going to a boarding school was the only time I even thought that something was wrong with my skin color. Because, I saw how my other classmates would flock around the light-skinned girls. But I never understood it. Like when it was their birthday, they would make a very big deal of it. I never understood it. So it was only amongst my people, my Cameroonian people, that the thought that something was wrong with my skin color ever came. But that initial grooming of being able to value myself in the world, it gave me a sense of self-worth, and it made me feel good about myself. My teacher made me feel good about myself, because at the end of the day, everybody's so different and everybody has something to bring to the table, and a different story to bring to the table.
I love that.
Yes, so.
Yeah, I love that. It's fascinating what you're saying. How our minds have also been messed up with the media that we consume. Everything white is beautiful and everything black is evil. And that's why, unfortunately, the bleaching industry is exploding in Africa. Everybody wants to look as white as possible. And it's quite unfortunate that a lot of young kids, young kids who are naturally beauty, do not receive the love and the attention that they deserve. It's fascinating what you've shared. And it's also a very sad truth that we live with today. So I want to continue on with our conversation in a moment, but I do see that quite a few people are joining us on all the platforms that we are on. Continue sharing your comments about my conversation with Naomi Achu, and also continue subscribing to the channel, because that's one of the ways that you can support the growth of this platform. I want to continue on with our conversation. I want us to talk about, Naomi, you spoke about, just the impact of being back in the motherland, how that was, significant in your growth. But imagine that now I actually know that you normally go back to the continent. I've seen you in Nigeria with your philanthropy work. But imagine that now you have an opportunity to go to all these 8 countries that you've been to indirectly, but now you're physically there talking to a group of, an auditorium full of all sorts of people, people that admire you, people that want to learn more about you. What would you tell them that is your current project that is most exciting for you? Like, what are you working on that is most exciting for you?
Ooh, lots and lots of things. Well, I will say, where do I start? Giving back. Giving back, I think, is the first and foremost. Um, that would be the project. Going, I would start by, I may not necessarily, like if I was in those groups in Africa, I may start by giving. I may start for looking, I might do health drives, I might do food drives, I might go into classrooms and teach a little bit, give speeches, empower, especially the children, empower the community, similar to what I did when I went back to Africa the last time. Um, and of course, there's more music coming up, which, I hope to engage more Africans into the music. I'm looking to expand employment in music in other parts of Africa. So when I speak of employment in music, I speak about music videos where we have more actors and actresses and more dancers that are on standby that have steady income in Africa. Um, that when people go into those countries, they can say, "Oh, okay, we have, everything is set up here. Everything is set up. Like every country has their Hollywood, where everything is just set up. They go in, they shoot their video, they go out, they market some kind of structure, some kind of structure in Africa for entertainers and also entertainment employees."
I love that. I feel like that's part of what Madaraka Festival stands for, because when you think about Madaraka Festival, since it started, it's been supporting the growth of One Vibe Africa's education, music, and art program that has been going on in Kenya for years, since 2013. And just this year, we expanded to Uganda and Tanzania, where we are, sending music instruments, production equipment, and also sending experts, our facilitators and instructors and musicians in Kenya are now going to these other countries. Our filmmakers are going there, and we are documenting what's going on. And also here in the diaspora, we are continuing to do Madaraka Festival and, sending resources back to the motherland. I want you to just go back to last year when we worked together at the Madaraka Festival 2022. Talk about the experience, and then, if you are in my place, leading the production of Madaraka Festival, where would you take it next year and the years to come? Like, what would you do with it?
Don't ask me that question, Simon, because I will take over, okay? But
Yeah.
Madaraka Festival has brought nothing but joy to me and brought joy to my followers. It was a great experience. The band, I really enjoyed working with the band. They understood me and I understood them. And I really enjoy the diversity in the audience, um, and the enthusiasm coming from Africa lovers, and that's people from outside of Africa. Their passion and their involvement. It just warms my heart. Maraka Festival in Seattle just brings great memories, and if I was to be part of Madaraka in any form or fashion, as you know, I'm very big on woman empowerment and supporting women. So I would just like bring like all women on the lineup. but that's just me as um, somebody who supports women, and I feel like women need more support in entertainment. I think entertainment is heavily um, a control. I say controlled or surrounded by a lot of men, and which is good. It's fine. But I would also like to create a platform where the females get give have an equal push, right? I think it's kind of similar to how we think about pay, right? Pay in America, they talk about it on the TV all the time. Oh, this person got paid more because they're this person got paid more because they're that. And I think it's similar in entertainment, where the male artists, I feel like they are at an advantage than the female artists. And even though we as females, we work just as hard, um, we are not always taken as seriously as the male artists. So I'm looking for a way to advocate for women in the industry and to encourage them, because we come out as, some of us have kids, so we still have to get off of stage and attend to our children. We still have to leave the studio and attend to our children. So we still have family. So it's important to have to feel to have a sense of livelihood when we go into these our musical spaces, and a sense of self-worth.
100%, 100%. That's a great, a great response and something that is critical. And I would definitely love to work with you on actualizing that for Madaraka. Just making sure we are hyper focused on balancing our lineup to include, women, and to also pay women fairly. And so, I'll be continuing to converse with you around this, because it's something that is also very important to me. And also, I think it's important to grow a lot of female artists brands, because for you as a brand, you're grown, you're somewhere. And so you have negotiating power, no matter what festival, what brand wants to work with you. They see the work you've done. You've put out albums, you've been to all sorts of places, and a lot of artists are super talented, especially female artists, but they haven't built their brand, so it's also a disadvantage to them. So I feel like you having a community of other young female artists that can benefit from your experiences can also help Madaraka and many other festivals and events have a pipeline of artists who who have worked with people like you, or who are being mentored or advocated for by people like you. But I really, really love what you just said.
Oh, and I also wanted to add, if I may, um, I also vision, I have this picture of Madaraka all over Africa, and all over the world, a world tour of Madaraka. That would just, poof, be amazing.
And I think that's coming. I think that's coming. It's inevitable, because I feel like Madaraka needs to be everywhere. So I'll ask you to help me make that happen. I can't do this on my own anymore. I feel like as Madaraka is growing, I have to find the right people, the people who are even thinking about its growth like that, the people who love and respect, and get joy in being involved with it. So I just thank you. And I want to give you space now to talk about, if there is someone who is watching and they really want to support you, Naomi, where can they go? If there is someone watching and they really want to stay connected with you, where can they go? Share that, and then I want to create space for you to also just speak about anything that I haven't asked that you want to talk about.
Okay, well, thank you, Simon. So you can follow me on Instagram. It's I am Naomi Achu. Twitter, Facebook, all social media platforms. Look for Naomi Achu, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have a music video that came out, Waiting All My Life. It's doing great. It's being played in several radio stations in the United States, USA, and some parts of England. So I hope you enjoy it if you watch it. And what else? Lots of music coming up, great music, more festivals coming up, big announcements. Keep it locked.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much, Naomi, for making the time for our conversation today. I think just recently, not even recently, yesterday I saw that you announced that Waiting All My Life, you've submitted it for Grammy consideration. Do you want to talk about that so that if we have voting members who are watching, they can also, make sure they vote for your music?
Thank you. Well, Waiting All My Life is essentially about immigration. If you listen to the song very carefully, it's speaking about two people that loved themselves and they were separated because one person had to leave one country or one continent to search for greener pastures. So people, learn to live separate lives. And this just doesn't only happen in Africa. This can happen only within America, where, two high school sweethearts is separate. One goes to North America, the other one goes to the South of America. One goes to one is in Florida, one is in California. It just speaks about separation. To me, it speaks really more about immigration and searching for greener pastures, and then somewhere later on in life, you unite with with your long lost love. And to me, the long lost love is Africa. So it's my love for Africa that is written in a love song to say, oh my gosh, Africa, I didn't think I was going to see you again, but here you are, and I've been waiting all my life to get back to you.
I
And
love
that's
that.
what it is for the voting members of the Academy. I appreciate your consideration and you listening, and we'll see where this takes us.
Excellent. I love that. I love that. Thank you for all that you do. The music. I love a lot of your songs. I think there's one called The King. Is it The King?
I know you like that one.
I love that song. How did you know I like that song?
Because you commented, you were like, I like this song. And it's so interesting. That is the song that the bands like to perform. When I was at Fest of Nations in Missouri, I asked them, I said, which is your favorite song? And they said King. King was their favorite song. So to perform that song, performing it live is like magical.
I think that song also brings it brings the wild Naomi, and your rap skills are actually, if somebody wants to know how good you are as a rapper, they should listen to that song. But also just your stage presence, a lot of artists just say they're artists, but I believe in you as an artist and a performer. You're so incredible. And I just love your humility too. Many artists, they are not willing to do the dirty work to help create things like Madaraka Festival. But you're one of the few people that, I ask you for help. Can you do this for me? Can you introduce me to this person? Can you do that? And you always show up. So I just want you to know that I appreciate it. And it will go a long way in actualizing this dream.
Yes, yes. Oh yes, I have big dreams for Africa, and when I see someone like you, my brother, just doing amazing things, all I can do is support in any little way that I can to, elevate Africa. It's important, and thank you for what you do.
Excellent. Thank you again. We are now wrapping up our time together, Naomi, and I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. You will be hearing from me, in your DMs and in every other way possible. But just know that, I'm a big fan and I have a lot of love and respect for you. Some of our friends who joined us today just made some comments here, and I just want to recognize a few of them. Stella, thank you for joining us. And Brother Earth, thank you for joining us as well. I really appreciate all the support. Naomi, thank you, and take care of yourself. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington.